Hi, my name is Corin Mills, and my team is We Tried. And my team members consist of Nathan Gass, Tyler Lacey, and myself, Corin Mills. And we've tried to focus on experimental psychology for this project. The definition of experimental psychology is it can be defined as exploring and trying to better understand behavioral in the mind through empirical research methods. Experimental psychology is more scientific and practical than other fields of psychology. The majority of the information is based in factual evidence. Experimental psychologists handle more research variables so they can find relationships between the cognition of the mind and behavior. Some careers in experimental psychology include psychological consultant, experimental researcher, and a college professor. Education needed for experimental psychology. If you are hoping to find a career in experimental psychology and can conduct research, you will most likely need a master's or doctorate level degree. If you want to have a career at a university, such as being a college professor, then you will need a doctorate level degree. If you want to have the title of a psychologist, then you also need a doctorate level degree. Places to be trained and educated. One place that you can be trained and educated in experimental psychology is Texas Christian University, also known as TCU, which is also located in Fort Worth, Texas. TCU has a great department in psychology and is a great school to attend if you want to graduate with your master's degree or doctorate degree in experimental psychology. TCU's graduate and doctorate school focuses on research and how to further your career. Another place to be trained is here on campus, which is called TW CAPS. TW CAPS has a lot of internships in the Department of Psychology. An internship with CAPS involves working directly with professors and psychologists in settings that allow for proper experience, such as labs and research teams. It also allows for the student to become more self-aware and make more connections with others. CAPS internships help gain experience, hours, and better insight into one's desired career path. Another place you can be trained and educated is Baylor University. It is an amazing place to obtain your master's degree or attend for your Psych D. After graduate school, Baylor's Psych D program emphasizes the clinical side of experimental psychology by involving students in various clinical settings and coursework. The program intends to help students prosper in their programs and create successful psychologists that are career ready. Research labs and teams offered by universities allow for students to gain experience as a psychologist. A university that offers this is the University of California, San Diego. They offer a multitude of different research positions on and off campus. As students progress through their research teams, they will also slowly gain experience in conducting experiments and running an analysis. This experience is crucial to refining the skill sets needed to be an experimental psychologist. The last place I have for you is at Idaho State University. You can start your doctorate degree and do the practicum requirements. This practicum requirements consist of behavioral neuroscience, cognition, developmental psychology, social psychology, and many more. This helps students practice and train in different areas of psychological science and practice to become a psychologist. Types of license that you'll need. Before an individual tries to get their license, they would have to go through supervised professional experience, and an individual going through this licensing procedure must complete a minimum of 3,000 hours in 2 licensing exams. These hours are typically accurate with being a student as well as post-graduation of the doctoral degree. Examinations. Those wishing to go into private practice will be required to take the examination for the professional practice of psychology. This test involves 2 parts. The first test, foundational knowledge, and the second test, psychology-focused skills. The second examination needed in their jurisdiction examination, which is administered by the Texas State Board of Examiners of Psychologists. This exam focuses on fundamentals of law and making sure that licensed are prepared for practicing efficiently. Types of settings that you can work at in experimental psychology. Experimental psychology provides a wide array of settings to work in that utilizes the skill sets that are unique to those from this field. Some of these include university positions, working as a consultant to private research firms, being part of government-funded research teams, owning a private practice, working as a sports psychologist, and helping war veterinarians. There's an exciting amount of opportunities available that allow for focusing on your own specific desires and goals. Colleges and universities. Experimental psychologists have the option of working as a faculty member, professor, or researchers at universities. Responsibilities in these positions include teaching graduate and undergraduate students in courses about learning and memory, biological foundations and behavior, and other experimental psychology related courses. This also provides advising to students, securing research funding, as well as leading research teams for the university. Consulting in private research firms. Businesses and corporations are often keen to hire psychologists, especially those from the experimental psychology domain, because of their background and mathematical analysis, as well as behavior-based disciplines. Those working in this sector often provide sound data analysis on company numbers and help organize projections of how to continually grow their business and enable sustainability. This also provides beneficial service for employee health and moral through psychological services and behavioral approaches. Government-funded research programs. Our government often funds research projects, that examine specific modalities that are consistent in experimental psychology. These projects are exciting opportunities for those in the field because of their wide application and use in government agencies. Sports psychologists. Sports psychology branches off from experimental psychology in terms of behavioral therapy treatments and consulting. Often an experimental psychologist will find themselves helping team members rehabilitate from an injury, deal with anxiety and mental health issues, as well as helping team members achieve their desired goals. War veterans and disaster post-traumatic counseling. When working with veterans experiencing PTSD, experimental psychologists often offer psychological services rooted in cognitive behavioral therapies. These treatments are usually based around research-backed in methodologies and rely on factual-based interventions methods that are effective. Those with Psych-D programs can open up private practices that run as clinical operations. And these are our sources that we had used on our experimental psychology project. And then these are our references. Thank you for listening. And Tyra Lacey, she did the types of license and also the types of settings. Nathan, he did the handout, and he also edited and fixed some of our slideshows, and he did the resources and references. I did the first part of the slideshow, which was the definitions and places that you could be trained and practiced. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.